The upstairs again, just I'm done when I say grace.
You're running out there.
I just said to the taxi driver, he took me around where the awards are, you know,
You want to know about that?
Gentlemen, we'll have a little break now. If you want to have your glasses charged, the bar's open.
You could round the other side there, wasn't gonna go. It's best to wait here.
Where's the barman?
Well, does he have a wee?
And then,
Well said.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to bring the toast for our most gracious majesty.
Green.
You may now smoke. Right there, come on in.
Friends, maiden foreigners, lend me your ears. We most certainly are not here to bury John, but to congratulate him and to honour his long and wonderful life. John, congratulations on achieving such an incredible age and being a successful, entertaining, but most importantly, always pleasant gentleman. We are delighted and honoured to be able to spend this evening with you and hope you will be spared for many more years to give us a bit of your crack. I regret my lack of ability to make a speech, especially on this occasion, and especially as John, the whole reason for our evening here, would make such a wonderful subject for somebody more eloquent. And on top of that, I printed most of what I was going to say in the paper tonight. But I'm honoured anyway to be given this task, and I'll do my best. John was born on the 23rd of April, 1899, and is heading very strongly to be one of the very few people to live in 3 centuries. He was born at Boy, just up the road from here. His mother and father were Martha and John, himself a master mariner. He had 4 sisters, Lil, Janet, Meg and Rita, and 2 brothers, James and Bertie. He was educated at Boy School, which is long gone. At the age of 16, on leaving school, he went to serve his time for 5 years as an engineering apprentice in the shipyard. His first trip to sea was with John Kelly on the Castlereagh, then the Cumber, and he stayed with Kelly's for 3 years. In 1927, joined the headline, and he ploughed back and forth with them for 40 years, until 1967. His first ship with the headline was the Hundredth, which became an early casualty of the Second World War, and was sunk by shell fire and torpedo in September 1939. John then sailed on the Orlick for 8 trips before joining the Bangor, which unfortunately was another victim of the U-boats, being torpedoed in May 1941. Quite obviously, John survived these casualties and the rest of the war as well, and as you can see by his breast, he was decorated with 5 medals for his bravery. He completed an amazing total of 91 voyages on the planet, many of them as chief. While he was second engineer and actually on watch, he was involved in yet another incident when the Planet unfortunately collided in fog with a fishing schooner, the Flora Alberta, southwest of Sable Island. The schooner sank with a tragic loss of life. It was during the time John was chief of the Planet that he acquired the reputation of being easygoing. He was obviously very happy to let the rest of the engineers, in whom he had full confidence, get on with the job. It was said he wasn't in the engine room for 10 years. After John left the Planet, he did relief work on several other head boats, and I had the pleasure of sailing with him on 2 occasions on the Rathlin. On the first occasion, I was an apprentice, and I was most touched by the interest he took in a young boy from home. During this time, we had Christmas in St. John, and John made a cocktail he called Loop the Loop. And I can tell you it was well named. John looked after us young fellas and saw to it that we got our share, which would have been frowned on by the other hierarchy. On the other occasion, I had the fortune to sail with John, again on the Rathlin. I was third mate. Andy Fee was the skipper, and as it was his practice, we nearly went into Fort Muck on the way past. It was the only time I ever saw John agitated. He was sure we had gone far too close and charged up and down the wing of the bridge like a demented idiot, or should I say demented skipper, until we were well clear. John has also had a very distinguished and long Masonic career, getting his first degree in 1930. Reflecting the amount of time he spent away from home and the difficulty in fulfilling the necessary attendances to be in office, it was 1968 before he was in the chair. He received his 50-year jewel in 1980 and is obviously still going strong with 68 years under his belt. Installations at 162 wouldn't be the same without the chief. John's wife, Ina, unfortunately passed away in September 1973. But John is very fortunate to have 2 wonderful daughters, Deirdre and Patricia, 5 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren, and more on the way, all of whom he is very proud of. His long retirement has given him a great opportunity to pursue his many hobbies. An enthusiastic gardener and very experienced and successful fisherman. His daily trips to the office have become a real feature of note. And of course, he has always been keen to give the odd tip. One time he tried to persuade me to have a flutter on Eric's star, and I really should have, because it rubbed home. His acumen at the whist table is known far and wide, and his photo was in the Larn Times quite recently for being the star of a local crowd. We had big hopes tonight to have another contemporary of John's here, just a wee bit younger than John, Tom Hill, and he was going to come and give us a go on the fiddle, but unfortunately due to circumstances, Tom's not with us. So You'll just have to soldier on your own tonight, John. John, you have enriched the lives of everyone who has come in contact with you. Aces high. So, gentlemen, if you would be upstanding and right
Good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, and so say all of us, and so say all of us, and so say all of us, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, and so say all of us. And we'll all sit down together, we'll all sit down together, we'll all sit down together, and wait for his reply.
I'd also like to thank everybody here. It when which heard told them about the big day we're going to have. Get to see everybody here enjoy themselves. There are 4 men ring leaders and this carry on well. He's one. I don't know where they are. Here's one here. Adam Townsend. We got together here one day in my house and I thought we were talking about so one of them. They're not hard to hear what was interested in them. So after about about 50 years ago, or he said, we're talking about you. Think about maybe next night for your retirement. I am retired 30 years. Well, sorry, I really wanted to make an hour real retirement. We'll get the queen of it. All the other ones said, we didn't know 40 years ago you were still going to float around. So that's what I'm sorry. I'm not going to tell you more about some of the people here later on. But thank you very much, everybody, for coming, and I hope you'll enjoy me.
If anybody wants to charge their glasses again, there's the time to do it whenever Mr. Sprott here gets finished with that. Thank you very much. Order, please.
John, it's an honor to be here on such an occasion. And we're going to try and sing, first of all, What Shall We Do with the Drunken Sailor? We're on the man, that's what we're doing. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Oh, way up she rises. Oh, way up she rises. Oh, way up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning. Oh, way up she rises. Oh, way up she rises. Oh, way up she rises. Early him until he's sober, early in the morning. Away and up she rises, away and up she rises, away and up she rises, early in the morning. Keep him short of whiskey, that makes him frisky. Keep him short of whiskey, that makes him frisky. Keep him short of whiskey, that makes him frisky, early in the morning. Away and up she rises, away and up she rises, away and up she rises, early in the morning. Take him to a whist drive when he's sober. Take him to a whist drive when he's sober. Take him to a whist drive when he's sober, early in the morning. Away and up she rises, away and up she rises, away and up she rises, early in the morning. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to try and tell you a story. John Kerr. And you know, and John fancies himself as a bit of a chef. And I went into the house this day and he had a fry on. And he says, Hugh, because that's what you call me. He's not stupid, you know, not stupid at all. And he said, but you want a fry? So I looked at it, God, it didn't look too good, you know, but I said, aye, all right. So he put some bacon and some bread and an egg, and God, it was greasy. So anyway, he went out onto the stairs to get some. I don't know what he keeps under the stairs, but he was out getting some, and Paddy's dog was in, so I gave the dog some. And after the dog had finished, it turned round and licked its backside to get the taste away. The Garden of Eden has vanished, they say, but I know the lie of it still. Just a turn to the left at the bridge of Fenway, and stop when halfway to Toad Hill. It's there I will find it, I know sure enough, as fortune has come to my fall. For the grass it is greener on Bally's Bluff, and the blue sky is over it all. And tones that are tender and tones that are gruff, still whispers come over the sea. Come back, Paddy Riley, come back, Paddy Riley to me. My mother once told me that when I was born, the day that I first saw the light, I looked down that street on that very first morn and gave a great crow of delight. Now most newborn babies appear in a huff and start with a sorrowful squall, but I knew I was born in Ballyjamestuff, and that's why I smiled on them all. The baby's a man now, he's toil-worn and tough, still whispers come over the sea. Come back, Paddy Riley, to Ballyjamestuff. Come home, Paddy Riley, to me. Thank you very much. as free as the grass grows, born free to follow your heart. Live free, and beauty surrounds you. The world still astounds you each time you look at a star. Stay free, where no walls divide you. You're free as a roaring tide, so there's no need to hide. Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're born free. Stay free, where no walls divide you. You're free as a roaring tide, so there's no need to hide. Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're born free. I wish I could speak.
So that's your request.
He can't speak and I can't sing.
Brian and myself used to do the bull gendarmes, and John always liked it. So, well, I have the words here somewhere. So, and we're going to try and do it. I started, thanks so much.
After all these years.
Right. We're public guardians, bold yet wary, and of ourselves we take good care. To risk our precious lives we're chary, freedoms we're never there. But when we meet a helpless woman, or little boys that do no harm, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we show them we're the bull gendarmes. We run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we show them we're the bull gendarmes. Sometimes a joke is extramural, the little butterflies we chase. We like to gamble in things rural, commune with nature face to face. Unto our beat then now returning, refreshed by nature's holy charm. We run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we show them we're the bull gendarme. We run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we show them we're the bull gendarme. If gentlemen will make a riot and punch each other's heads at night, we're quite disposed to keep it quiet, provided that they make it right. But if they do not seem to see it and give to us our proper terms, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we show them we're the bull gendarme. We run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we run 'em in, we show them we're the bull gendarme.
Thank you.
Yeah, great organizer. But he's a hell of a better haunted delegate.
You mentioned this at Captain's Day, probably, isn't it?
Oh, we all can see it tonight, get on with us.
Billy.
Have you got that telegraph? Go ahead now, because we're in here. Will you all see it, please, before I get on?
Get that spotter out, Pollock.
John Kerr, Chief Engineer, my next door neighbour, a long time friend. It gives me great pleasure to present this piece of work dropped up here to you this evening. I'm going to let Ronnie, your son-in-law, handle this and send it to you. Ronnie, and we have to do more than these drops, so. And then I have to sign the back of it. Where at the end.
Look at that, Jones.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
Hold it up.
Hold it up.
Order.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
Order. Or can you get your head down just a wee bit?
The Tracy do a great job.
Oh, yeah. That's an artist easel, it's not a stone. The way a Roscoe can make will happen. We're not finished yet, Chief. There's more to come.
There's more. Need no stone.
Anyway, I'll say the back of that something more. And then after that, yeah, just take her out, Rob.
All this work. Where's the sample come, Pollock?
I'm ready with a hammer, full blade, or the spanner. John, that's the brother's drawing of the famine from Harlan Walsh. Just in size. And I hope you're not scared to look at these three here. I know I don't afford to go to look at them myself. And that's in the year being cracked and a bit of shaking from time to time. But I'll carry on now with what I have to say. Well, there's a hammer there, John. You can use that there as your gavel for the rest of the night. I work in clothes of an engineer. Perhaps, John, you and I will partake of a wee drop of lubrication. Then one day for Captain Bob there. Do you mind passing out and staying on down to Captain Bob? Yes, yeah, I'll come round the tables there. Well, John, that, as I said, I'd very like to say a few words. And again, yourself, John, Marcus is busy there. Ronnie, son-in-law Ronnie, Alfred, Sean down the table there, see Sean didn't speak earlier on, and Mark sitting beside me here. Assembled, gentlemen, Maritime Associates, Masonic Brethren, friends and neighbours. I don't think I've left anyone out. John, this is your evening, your night, and it's heartwarming to see your family represented here this evening, along with so many friends and neighbours. Friends, I'm neighbour, no doubt, but all friends. For several months past, I have had the pleasure of working in this here and trying to portray the likeness of the planet here. In doing so, I feel that I have become almost acquainted with her. Even the thump of a chain drive engine, as described by you to me, Maria, and even on maybe had a wee. 91 voyages you made on her, nearly as many numerically as the years you have lived. Well, as I already said, I've been proud to be associated with us. I'll say more now. Now, you've told me this is not Masonic night, but I think I've heard Eric make reference to your Masonic career. And I know I have a representative from the provincial sitting over there in Carroll. No doubt Carroll will say something later. I would just say, although this is not a Masonic function, I feel that I should allude briefly to the fact that we're gathered together here in the confines of the festive room of the Masonic Hall upstairs. And I'm sorry you didn't wear your 50-year due. You're well protected with your wartime service medals. Whatever, that was your decision. And decking out this hall here this evening, friends, with nautical artifacts you see round about you, I think we'll gather together just about everything. Other than a ship's telegraph, but how will we meant your ship's telegraph there? All in the ship. The red-hand press that you all saw outside, you couldn't miss it coming in, came from the cottage, Wee Thatch Cottage down the Cove. And it took 3 strong men to, Eric's tractor to get it here. And it took 3 strong men to tractor to get it back. Now that red hand, I thought it graced the forecastle here, but it was a bone, you know, the bone there, off in a shown head. Now, my paint was just obscured this, and behind here with a lovely model of the fair head. And this was kindly left for this evening by a Mr. Ronnie Oates in Whitehead. And Ronnie can't be here, he will be wanted them here this evening because he knows John, I don't think John knows him all that well. He had to go down apparently today. And that was his first attempt at a ship model made. I think he started around about 1980. He's now on his second Titanic. And he's already 2 years of it, and it's about 2/3 maybe completed. His first Titanic is told is now somewhere in the water from Paul. So it was kind of him to land off this evening. Look up above the chief here. Where do you think that came from? Joe Helms, where did he tell us something about that there house flag of the steamship company? I don't know about it at all.
I saw it advertised one night in the telegram at Boss.
I've been the custodian of it this last year too. You'll have to go back to you or your son anyway. Well, there it is, and it's fitting it should be here tonight. Now, reminiscence. Did I get that right? My first acquaintance with the chief was in my late teens, in the year 1963, on a Baltic voyage to Finland in the Ben's Warhead. Remember it, Joe? I recall the chief at the end of that forenoon watch, having come up out of the engine room, jipping his head. I was just a galley boy, believe it or not. I'd always wanted to go to sea, and nothing but Halifax I got to sea. And the late Carson E.C. really got me away in my head. Like, I didn't have the eyesight to have a career in deck, so I was a galley. Because I didn't fit me light, there you are. Now, John shook his head in through into the galley, over the starboard side, all the way half door. I can remember it as well. He says, "Hey boy, what's for dinner?" Says you. And you know, since then, just recently, I got a phone call next door. He says, "Hey boy," he's still calling me hey boy. "You want some Aiden McGee fish?" So another time I get fish that Robert Jones brings on me. So there you are. Well, I was not to know then that in years to come, fate would play its part in bringing the pair of us together as next door neighbours. And I have to say this, friends, brothers, whatever, associates. What can you say about a man like that? He's been, to me, he's been a far figure to me. In more ways than one, many times. He counsels me at times. There's my ways. And the acumen of the wisdom of his years. He thinks I'm somewhat of a wayward son or something. On the house will be cut next week, so they'll come back. I couldn't have wished for a better neighbour, brother to Graham, and even Mander, as we go there. And I was saying, yeah, sometimes you get a horror with the phone, said that, they grew it up, and changes. In our avenue, in Alexander Avenue, there have been changes over the years, and that comes to us all. And I can think of a few neighbours that are no longer with us. And Mrs. Ann Campbell, who was the widow of Captain Campbell's not so, John. Billy Campbell, yes. Mrs. Nell Downey was next door up again, and she was commonly known as Ma Downey, just next door to John down here, John Macaulay. And I can remember Ma, John always got his midday lunch with Ma. And hey, you'd hear this holler up and down now, Mr. Kerr, Mr. Kerr. And then there was my mother Louise too, who's dead and gone a few years now. And I could have told David Nolan, he's no longer with us. John's cars, we all know about John's cars. I don't remember the old Morris, I don't think I can. But I remember your several minis, and I remember taking you away to Lisburn to get one of those minis. Do you remember that? And then there's Allegro. And the last one was a Ford Escort, which was nearly the death of you. Well, he's a survivor. He never even got his socks wet in the Bangor headlands. Well, I think most of you know, not so long back, John had a wee spell in hospital. And he'd say he was a wee bit ill, and I can recall it was Sunday night, and Billy Nurse came visiting me, and I said, I'll have to go and check the chief. And John was not great at the time. Billy and I, good farming there, I took a lift of Harold's to get him up the stairs and in his bed, and John was in the hospital. And he came through that, and here he is. There, just what you say there, here he is, and he's going to be long spared away with us on it. I'm not saying more about that in spell, John. I remember taking your no check it. There's something about it, John. What is it? Is it the garden or what? Them spuds or the vegetables. You're not making the home brew anymore. Well, I would just say I wish you continued good health as you approach your 100th birthday next April. Eric's already made mention that. I'm sure you'll have here come the millennium, and that means you'll have lived through centuries. That's so much easier. I hope next year maybe you will have the Queen on her mum over. And maybe I get a commission to paint the replacement for the Royal Yacht with Tanya. Yeah, I don't know, there was some, I mentioned a few absent friends in Alexander Avenue. I can think of Neil absent friends who you all know you're not with us tonight. I can name names, maybe I shouldn't, because we all would think, and I don't think, I haven't written here. I think maybe I'd just say them anyway. I've mentioned already Carson E.C. Ray, Ornblower, Davy Bell, Leslie Jones, Noel Alexander, Sammy McCowan, Norman Macaulay and his brothers, Terry Baird, Jack Hawkins, Captain John Stewart, John Niblet, Kerr McGowan, and J.D. Tillman. That's the name I could think of. I'm sure others would think.
Barney is there.
Yes. Okay. Well, they would have loved to embrace their presence or being here tonight to enjoy. It's not to be, so they're at peace. Now, happy note, there are a few that can't be here tonight for other reasons. Norman Ray, for one, person's son. Norman had a pre-planned vacation book, and he's now in the And I have a few things to read out here. You'll have to bear with me. There's communications from locally and abroad that will have to be mentioned. Dr. John Wilson. Dr. John will love to be here, you know that. He's maybe sitting on the continent. Captain Reg Reynolds is in America. And Bob Downey, Ma Downey's son, he resides in Toronto. And he'll be back, he's just missing us, he's due on the 4th of September for a spell. He comes and goes about 2 or 3 times a year. I'll mention 2 others, Bertie Hawkins and Bill Morrison will be back. And just in concluding this bit here, I'd take this opportunity now to thank you one all for being present here this evening. I'd like to thank, well, is Ian Chalmers here?
No, we didn't. No, I can't make it.
Ian Chalmers, may I say, generously volunteered to have this mountain train, plus the yard drawing. Now, you have that kind of profession, I don't know what it costs, but it is a professional job and it just sets off my own, I think. Malcolm Abbott and Whitehead the baker, some of you'll know. Malcolm volunteered to bake the cake that was brought into John. Yes.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Go ahead. Well, bring them in, yes. Bring them in, we'll bring them in. John, I was bringing them in, just until they started.
Get 2 10-minute notes, please. Open our video camera on. Take another thanks very much.
Right, where's Billy? Right, Billy.
Gentlemen, I think one of the boys has been here this evening, and I think these girls, they were here last night, laid the tables out, we're here for about 3 hours, back tonight again, and they've set up a marvellous meal, so I think we should show our appreciation. I will wait for the reply.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Okay, certainly, yes. Hey, continue going. Gentlemen, will you bear with me a while longer? I was mentioning thanks there. Malcolm Abbott, you take the cake, and you're taking out Willie John. Cater to Chandler and Carrick Ferguson, kindly lend me a few items to grace the hall. Cross anchor, take it with you and bring it back. And that's very nice of you to do so. You like to come, please? I think, I'll not forget Bobby here. I have to tell you all assembled, Bobby sowed the seed of this evening here. It's his idea, right? So, taking John in. So, that's the content of what I want to say basically. Here we are, men. These communications, I have here kindly lent to me by Andy Niblett, Captain Andy Niblett, a menu card from the Bonnet Head dated Xmas 1952, and there's the menu card there. And they took the crest to adorn the inside of our menu card here this evening. And it's all signed, and Papa Jones, Chief Jones' name's on the back of it too, it's all signed. Andy, you'll pick that back again. Hang on for a Honda Whist. Or we can have a seaman's toast. Grog is a seaman's delight. His sheet anchor, his compass, his cable, his compass, his log. It gives him a heart. His cares cannot tanker, where he braids them and tips up his grog. Yo. And that's from an 18th century joke scripture. This wee thing. Anyone here did know the beacons in Whitehead that made the Canada? Yeah, 1 or 2. I have a communication with them, and they write to me. They were home recently. Said this sweet card made out, and there was a gathering in Martinmore House Hotel, and I think the words are very fitting. Actually, these words here, she took off a card I sent her. They're Helen Steiner racist words, and I think it applies ably to what we're experiencing here. See, friendship is a priceless gift that can't be bought or sold, but its value is far greater than a 90-year-old gold. So when you ask God for a gift, be thankful that He sends not diamonds, pearls, or riches, but the love of real true friends. And see how that made up out in Canada to hand out that day in Martinmore recently. Yesterday is the past, tomorrow's the future, today is a gift, that's why we call it the present. Now, maybe I should get on to these communications here, because somebody will say, well, I should say it, but often. I got one acknowledgement from one who's not far distant, my cousin Robbie, coming sitting here, that RSVP. And Robbie just a nice little letter of thanks that he was going to be here. And he says, what I have this for is what he says, particularly among some statements here. I hope and pray that all goes well for the who's talking to me in organising this wonderful tribute to such a remarkable and modest man, John Kerr Esquire, ex-chief engineer. That's what my cousin Robbie says about you, boy. I want to hear from my sister in Hollywood. See, I told her what I was doing in Hollywood tonight, and it just says, John, dear John, enjoy your night, enjoy your paintings. And that's from my sister and her family in Hollywood. Bob Downey in Toronto. Ronnie, can you hold us up for the chief? I did, I really done so, John. I did so, John. Yes. Bob Downey, as I already said, lives in Canada. He and his wife come back and forward 3 or 4 times a year. And Bob says, I think it's something about an engineering disaster. Bob Downey says, dear John, our good friend and neighbour, Paddy Mack informs me that some of your old sea dog friends are honouring you with a little get-together in Maybe. Unfortunately, this affair is to take place in August, and I don't arrive until September the 4th. The Billy North's back, and I want to keep this event for the weekend, but there you are. As I cannot be there in person, I am sending this to Paddy so that you can read the attacks. Jean and family join with me in wishing you a most enjoyable evening, and not too many sea shanty stories, or you may get seasick, or should I have said not too many sea fishes. John, you have been a good neighbour, and more importantly, a good friend for many years, and I hope we will continue to see many more. Sincere best wishes, Paul. I feel I'm like a wedding or something.
Your best man.
I was Robbie's best man, that was a hard job.
Well,
This is Dr. Jones, and look, that's a doctor's writing for you.
Can't read it.
Dr. John Wilson, congratulations to Mr. John Kerr on a long and successful, profitable life. My first introduction to John Kerr was by the late Captain Carson Ray, following the second social meeting after a meeting in Aidan McGee Sonic Lodge, on our first meeting of the year in January. That was quite a few months ago. It was a first for me, drinking homemade beer, produced in a 2-gallon bucket, and served in a cold, or a receptacle like one. I can assure you all, it was good. And I wakened up after 1 gallon sometime on the Monday the following, around 6 a.m. thinking that the local steam train had run over my head. That was your home already. He then became a model patient, but was rather deaf, as he never did anything he was told. The reason for his long night, or was it the geisha girls and his relationships with them in Japan? I never knew you had a head in Japan. That next time I examined him for his driving medical, I would say, no, you weren't going to get you're not going to let you drive anymore, he says. His excuse was that he had a hole in the sole of his left shoe. He was stuck in the accelerator. And he thought he was in trouble. He forgot the accelerator was on the right. At each surgery attempts, there was always some comic relief in the form of a story told for us. I'm sorry that I will miss this celebration dinner to pay compliments to a real gentleman, play my part, and acknowledging the life and times of a headline chief engineer of note, the one and only John Kerr. That was John Wilson.
The owner of 3XI 5667 move his car. Ruffle it. The gators want to get out.
John to Bertie Hawkins. John Kerr, Freemasons Hall, McGee, Northern Ireland. Best wishes from fellow marine engineer and old friend of many years, signed Bertie Hawkins. Have a nice day, friend John. Where are we at now? Nope, that's now. Bobby handed this to me earlier on, and this is a wee letter. Bobby, would you not read this out? This is from John's whist playing friends round about. Bobby, will you please read it? I'll take a wee breather. Speak up now. Speak up.
Right on to tell you who it's from. To John Kerr, on this special occasion, best wishes from all whist players and friends. For many years, John has been a faithful and regular attender, a shrewd player of whist and poker, evident from his many wins, but when time comes bouncing back. He is a humorous gentleman, always smiling, always the joker, and much loved and respected by the rest of the pack. John, you're a ace, and tonight, you're a knight, but you say you're hard on it. Good luck, and God's richest blessing from future, from all and all Bray and Lord. Now, I'm not really supposed to tell us, but I know that this was written by someone called Jean. She lived herself, and who knows that when we're met here next year, it might be ladies' present.
One more communication here, and this again from Canada, and then I think I'm coming here to close you, but glad to hear. In the meantime, I think I better take a breather, because these were thoughts that came to me in the working hours. That wasn't deep, but not for now. It's a voyage up the Antrim coast, and the on ahead, homeward bound into Belfast, but I'll leave that for later. Now, this, as I say, comes from Canada. This is from Dermot O'Neill. You met him, he was in your house. Andy, his friend Andy Gibbons, and he made a career at seeing the headline. He's now ashore, and he's not in good health just a minute, but he's been some years in Canada. And he says, he's an ex-white head man. The many people who practice the ancient art of the mariner, have always reflected on those who help them on their way. Sometimes a long and difficult ladder, and wisdom, knowledge, wit and humour, and indeed subtlety at its best when needed. You, John, he says, have fulfilled this task admirably over a long and eventful life. An outstanding success for the engine room. So on behalf of all ex-headline mariners in Montreal and other parts, it is my pleasure to acknowledge the approach of your centennial year and to wish you on this evening the pleasure of good company, good merriment, good stories, and of course a fine malt to temper the day. And he ends in friendship and with sincere good wishes at Montreal, dated August 17th this year. I'll just end with a wee couplet, and then I'll sit down because I think I need a rest Us good times, this is John Blaisfield again. It's very hot for me. I can hear you say it. must go down to see again, to the vagrant gypsy way. The roads play and the wheels way, where the wind's like a wetted night. And all I ask is a merry yarn with a laughing fellow over, and a quiet sleep, and a sweet dream when the long trip's over. I'll sit down.
I thank gentlemen, Bishop Temperman Teeth, and some other message to read. Mr. Temperman Teeth.
Right, John, over this way. John, I just have to say, I'm delighted I am going to be here tonight. I'm only here just as a guest, the same as anybody else. I just had a letter to deliver, but instead of delivering it, it's been handed back to me. But I think, first of all, John, we better say, anytime most of us are sitting in this room, that's the worshipful master sits there. There's the worshipful master there tonight, so John, you know what's going to happen now. I'm afraid on John's behalf, I'm going to have to ask all ye who have not received your first, second, or third degree. Now, having said that, look around this room, I don't think there's too many asses going to move. But John, I'm delighted to be here. I'm one of the few in this room, but there's Hugh Logan and John Chambers, who used to maybe chase your daughters a few years ago. Back in the 1950s and 60s, when you and your wife would probably send us packing when we knocked your doors to see when they're coming out to play, as we would call it. Tell me more, tell me more. I'm not telling you any more. But I'm delighted to be here, John, and I've got a letter addressed to you tonight. And I have just opened it on your behalf. I hope you don't think I'm too cheeky. But this is what I was instructed to do by these wise men who have organised this for tonight. But when I learned I was coming here tonight, I was delighted to come. I spoke to Provincial Grand Lodge and told them I was coming along just as an ordinary guest. But when I gave them the details of your Masonic career, they, without hesitation, said they would like to pen to paper and to give you their best wishes. And I now, John, have just opened the letter, and if you don't mind, I'll just read it to you. It's very short, as you can see. First of all, Brother John Kerr, St. John's Masonic Lodge, number 162. Dear Worshipful Brother Kerr, it gives me great pleasure to convey to you, on behalf of the Provincial Grand Lodge of Antrim, our sincere congratulations on entering your 100th year. May I take this opportunity to thank you for the service and dedication which you have given to the order, and also to St. John's Masonic Lodge number 162 over the last 68 years. And it is hoped that you find your membership of the craft to have been both enriching and a rewarding experience. We greet you well and extend to you our very best wishes for the future. Kindest regards, yours sincerely and fraternally, Robert Thompson, Provincial Grand Master. Robert Thompson has been here on a number of occasions, John, and I'm sure over the years you have met him. He's a very fine man, a very fine listen, and I know that he knows that you're one of the few, maybe on your own, to be running around this province with, 68 years of masonry behind you. Most of you here know that there's this thing that's been referred to tonight, the 50-year jewel. And anybody that's a 50-year jewel for masonry is a very proud masonry. But John has a 50-year jewel with 18 years tagged on behind it. Yourself, another mason, I would think, John, throughout the stretch of Ireland, from Malin Head to whatever you call the one at the south, which you probably know better than me. There's probably not another one with as many Masonic years behind it. And I know that you've enjoyed your years here in 162. And with the greatest of pleasure and great honour to me, John, I would now just pass that letter over to yourself to go along with old Paddy's archives there. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much, for all this message. And before you gave me speak to the Grand Master, convey my thanks, and I hope I've been here to see him the next time.
Here, here. Here, here. Normally, gentlemen, following on from Trevor and John, John was my sponsor in the chair above in 1991. And as that time of the year is coming in again, I have a few brown envelopes here, so Stevie, will you get them out that way? And Ned Peacock down the corner, that's for tomorrow. I come to there because I'm responsible for a lot of gear here. Okay.
Right, you see all that the letters of congratulations are read out. There's still another one. I call it Mushroom for
Ceremonies, distinguished guests and friends, I have been given the opportunity of saying greetings to you, John, from Carson Ray's son, Norman, who unfortunately is away on holidays. And greetings, dear John, sorry I'm unable to attend your celebration dinner this evening in MPEG as I am on holiday in Tenerife. However, I just wanted to wish you all the very best and hope you enjoy a swashbuckling evening with your colleagues and friends in 162. I trust the brewery in Alexander Avenue is still going strong, and the garage explosions are now at the minimum. No doubt beer distribution, if required, can still be arranged in the traditional manner of plastic or aluminium buckets. Have an enjoyable evening, John, and wishing you many more safe passages throughout life. Kindest regards, Norman, Delma, and Norman. That's from Norman. And just while I'm on my feet, just thinking of John coming up to the centenary. There was this old farmer who was also in the same age who decided to get married to a young girl of 21. And the family were rather concerned, and they said, you know, to the doctor, would you not call our father in and talk to him? So the doctor called him in and said, you know, he says, whenever people, you know, go away on their honeymoon, it can be very exciting and certain things can happen, and you know, it's not the first time that someone has died. And the old farmer says, well, if she dies, she dies. I have to tell you, Jim, about this old farmer was going up from Larne up to Ballymena, and on the way he was having some produce to sell up there, and of course he got into the donkey and cart, and he's got potatoes, he's got the waste eggs, and he's got turnips and a lot of things. And he knew the other donkey knew the way up, so he just let it have its head, and he was thinking about the prices, and the other donkey went on the wrong side of the road. When we were on the wrong side of the road here, then an army Land Rover come down, smacked into them, up into the field, went the donkey and cart, now the farmer's lying in the field, and he's saying, boys, this is my lucky day. He says, think of all the compensation I'm going to get here. Boys, he says, I'll be able to put the roof on the bar, and if Mary plays her cards right, I'll be able to buy her that refrigerator. Now, with this time, the Lance Corporal had jumped up onto the hedge with all his training, surveyed the scene, saw the donkey, forelocks broken, with an agony and pain, went out, got the gun, went up, shot him through the head, dashed over to the farmer, smokes down, he says, how are you, my good man? I never felt better, no. Now, John, I know you like the joke, that's why I'm just taking this opportunity. There was this old Paddy. Paddy was always complained of pains, you see, and he always went to the surgery. The doctor always ended up giving a prescription for aspirins, you see. So the doctor got a phone call from his wife. She said that one of the children had taken ill and could he come home. So he said to the secretary, would you mind looking after Paddy? Now, all you've got to do is just he undresses, you go over, you put your hands on his body, feel certain parts of his body, ask him to say 33, and then give him a prescription for aspirin, no trouble. So Paddy came in and she said, well, it's your examination, just go behind there and undress. So Paddy went behind and undressed, and she put her hands on his back and say 33, and he goes, 33. And she says, well, now, is the pains getting any worse? No, he says, I've got some on the front. So she put her hand on his heart and say 33. And he goes, 33. Then she put her hands down below and she says, say 33, and he goes, 1. The hour's getting on, and I could stay on for a long time, but may I just say, John, again, on behalf of other people, we're delighted to see you here. Many, many years may you be spared to be amongst us, because our company will be enriched by your presence.
But it was good when Shaw said he had purchased it. Well, so I thought Mr. Walsh was the granddaddy of us all there, but he's told him a thing or two, so. Wish you all the best, and may you be long spared to be down here with us.
Here, here, here.
Would Mr. Welsh like to say a few words after all that?
Here, here.
Here.
In 1949, I first went to sea with John, and I was a blow-in, so I looked for a bit of sympathy, and John certainly looked after me very well as a it's almost 50 years ago, and it's unbelievable that we're still together here tonight. And John had a great mark of combining work with leisure. He had always a great esteem for the owners, and I learned that from John more than anybody. That the job had to go on well at all times, but he did threaten me about riding a goat. So far I haven't done that. It's a pleasure to stay with John, and that year also was my last year before I went into the shore side. I had many great days with John, and I certainly congratulate him on his performance this evening. He's a great hero.
John, I have a couple of things I'd like to say to you. I lived in Chicago when the boat came into Chicago, and I had no idea I was going to finish up in Island Keys. Among all the seafaring folks. And I don't know if any of you are aware of it or not, but there used to be a great race, what they call coming down the Great Lakes. And the first ship that came into Chicago, as I say, Eric Dunwoody, he lent me a tape, and that was the first time I ever seen a tape of the actual boats coming into Chicago. Now, I lived in Chicago for 5 years, and the headline boats came in, and they were generally first in. Got a fantastic reception, a really civic reception. And I sat down the other day there, and I said I would try and write a few lines about, to give you maybe an idea of what the great race was like. And it's called the Great Headline Race. There's lots of things I'd like to say about John Kerr on his birthday. The object of these few lines is about the trips on the old headlines. The cargo loaded, the hatches battened down, we're off on a race to old Chicago town. Then the second, he says what's the plan. Says, John, we'll go as fast as we can. Across the Atlantic, the ship made its way to reach the mouth of the St. Lawrence Seaway. Through steam ahead, and all his lot. From Belfast to Chicago was a great race, with the headline boat in first place. So there you are, John.
I call on Mr. Bobby Cameron. Would like to- What? Well, I think Bobby would like to say a few words first, and then he'll probably carry on with the accordion, and we'll have a little bit of a sing-along. If that's all right, Robert.
By the way, there's Yankee apples there. He used to bring back apples, and anyone wants an apple, take one, please. He got a special ship down here.
There's plenty of these, rid of them.
That was kept a long time, John. Headline men upstairs, please.
Headline men
Headline men upstairs.
Come on, anybody, don't hang around, go upstairs. There's a paper shop, man. An engineer.